Hi, my name is David Summerfleck, and I am the owner and chief web designer for AffordableWebsitesDenver.com. And in this brief video, I wanted to basically touch on some web design issues specifically concerning restaurant owners and restaurateurs. Because restaurant owners are so busy managing the day-to-day operations of their restaurants, as well they should be, a lot of times the whole website development issue can fall by the wayside, or they can end up in a situation that's less than desirable for them. They could end up working with someone who doesn't know what they're doing or does substandard work, in which case they end up losing hundreds or thousands of dollars on something that they're just going to need to revisit again, or they outsource to someone in another country and end up with something and don't know what they're doing, and then can't really make changes or updates when they need to. So in this video, I wanted to address some things to really try to help restaurant owners, especially restaurant owners in Denver, Colorado, or the greater Denver area, or even in the state of Colorado, to really help you make decisions about website development itself. I'm proud of AffordableWebsitesDenver.com and the work that I've done. But again, even if you don't want to work with me, at least I'm presenting this honest information out there to try to help and make a positive difference. So the first thing that I wanted to go over is this article that I've written called Tips for a Great Denver Restaurant Website. That is going to be, I've scheduled it to be published tomorrow, November 4th. Basically what I say is that you can actually be losing more money through a poorly designed website or no website at all than you would through just doing it the right way the first time. So a couple of points I wanted to go over is a lot of restaurant owners don't understand. First of all, you want a content management system. What that is the content management system allows you to basically have your website but have things that change regularly. That content management system is like the motor in the car. Without it, it just sits there and looks pretty. So the best content management system out there today is WordPress. More and more people every day are learning about WordPress because they keep hearing this same fact over and over again through all these different media outlets. What's WordPress? I keep hearing about it. What is it? And so on. And WordPress is the easiest content management system there is to learn, and by the same token, train others in. So not only am I a WordPress expert, but I also train other people in WordPress. Now obviously at the end of one day, or one session rather, they're not going to go out and become a WordPress website developer themselves, but they are able to make updates and changes and be able to manage their own websites after just a few hours of training. And that's the idea, is for you to be empowered. So let's talk about a few things here. Okay, first of all, your time is valuable. Okay, you don't want to waste it on a website that looks like a flyer or a one-page brochure, and you're thinking, well, at least I'm getting my restaurant information out there so that people who use Google or these yellow pages online can find my restaurant. That's true, but why would you go and spend whatever it is you're spending on a one-page brochure website that looks awful? If you're a web developer such as myself, or someone like my wife who knows about web development, you know, just by being around me, and other people who are frequent the internet, some of us are going to look at a cheaply produced website and go, do I really want to go to this restaurant if their website looks like an old flyer or business card, or it's just the lettering is different sizes and it just doesn't look right, you know, and I can't make reservations online, I can't see their menu, I can't get directions on their website. Do I really want to try to find it? In a lot of cases, I just will give up and just go on to the next restaurant website. For example, an Italian food restaurant, if they don't have a website, I'm less likely to go there. If they have a poorly designed website or one of these $5 a month things, I'm less likely to go there, because I just feel like, well, if they're not going to put their money into it and value themselves, why would I want to go there? Odds are it's not going to be a good experience. And maybe that's unfair, but basically in one night of what a typical bar will lose in overpouring or mismanagement, you take that money and invest it into a competent website. So, restaurants deal with huge sums of money, as all restaurant owners out there know. So it's a very, very minor investment in long term, and the return on investment is incredible. And everyone with a good website would tell you that. Second of all, you don't really want to waste your time, in my humble opinion, with Genesis, Thesis, knockoff templates. I see it every single day, and I meet people at these coffee shops, and my heart goes out to them. What am I talking about? Okay, Genesis and Thesis are WordPress website themes or templates. That's the overall look or feel of the website, where the menus are, where the different widgets are placed, the color scheme. That makes up the theme or template. Genesis and Thesis templates or themes are the most commonly used ones out there. And the reason for that is because you really don't need to be a website developer. You can just go to the company that makes these themes and you pay your $80 to $100 fee, and then you just keep reselling these template knockoffs to client after client after client. All you have to do is type in the content and then take off as soon as you're paid. And it's very easy to do. It's very commonly done practice, unfortunately. And I meet people all the time who tell me, look, I studied WordPress, or I went to your WordPress training workshop or boot camp, and now I'm sitting down and it doesn't make any sense. And I say, well, I'm sorry, I didn't, I warned you against this stuff in my class. The problem with these WordPress Genesis and Thesis themes is that they inherently change the way that WordPress works to make it easier for these people to configure it. So you really, if you're going to use these Genesis, Thesis knockoff templates, not only do you have to learn WordPress, but you also have to go and learn how to use these Thesis and Genesis themes. So you have to become a developer yourself just to be able to use it and make updates. So it's not worth it. It may seem like you're saving a little bit of money, but it's not worth it in the long term. You'll have to hire a developer basically to just make a few minor updates for you, and they're not going to come and work for you for free. They're going to want a couple of $100 at the very least just to get started. So don't buy into that. If it looks too good to be true, it is. If you're dealing with a developer, ask them, is this a Genesis or Thesis knockoff template that you're selling me? Because I don't want that. I know what it does to WordPress. Please don't do that. I want an original WordPress theme of my own. If the developer tells you that you shouldn't want that or you can't do that, move on. You can call affordablewebsitesdenver.com 24 hours a day at 720-468-0472, or just look us up online at affordablewebsitesdenver.com, and I would be very happy to go over any information that you want. But any developer worth his or her salt should be able to develop an original theme without reselling the same thing over and over again. It does you a great disservice and makes it very difficult for you to update. Okay, make sure that you get training in WordPress. Okay, because you want to be able to make these updates and changes yourself. In Colorado, there are some places you can go where you can get 4 to 5 hour WordPress training workshops. Most people will do it over the phone, or they'll do it online through these webinars. Don't sign up for that, please. Don't pay for that. The developer may be a very nice person, and that person may be very capable, but for you trying to learn WordPress, think about it. Can you really learn this over the phone? Can a mechanic teach you how to fix a car over the phone or through a webinar? Can a restaurateur or chef teach you how to prepare a great meal over the phone or through a webinar? Maybe they can teach you how to make a pizza the classic way through a video, but it's still no substitute at all for being there in person and being able to ask questions and try things out. So when I teach WordPress training workshops, I only do it in person, in a conference room, or at a different location that's a physical location. You can take out your laptop and try things out. You can ask questions as we go along. And the reason I do that is because I've been a teacher and I've taught journalism, I've directed GED programs, and I know that there is no substitute for learning directly in person. So why waste your time with things that just don't work? Every restaurant website should have a link to MapQuest or Google Maps that shows the website visitor how to find my establishment. Okay, every website should have link to Yelp reviews, even if some of them are not necessarily as positive as you would like. It's still some publicity, and some publicity is always better than no publicity. And also I wanted to address, what do you do if you get a negative Yelp review? Do you ignore it? No. Do you combat that person and argue with them through Yelp? No, definitely not. You apologize and you offer to make things right. That shows you as a professional restaurant business who takes their restaurant business very seriously. And I don't know anyone who would not want to get a free meal, or if I had a bad experience with my wife dining out, the restaurant owner apologizes and offers to make it right. I can't imagine anybody who would turn that down, and it reflects very well on the restaurant itself. You should have a blog with recipes. Okay, as I've said in other videos, there are some fabulous websites out there where you can get recipes and cooking articles for free, such as artipot.com, and you can email me at affordablewebsitesdenver.com, and I'll be happy to provide some other websites for you where you can get blogs, blog content, and articles and recipes for free that you could just copy and paste into your blog and then schedule one to appear every week. So there's no reason not to take advantage of that. As far as Groupon is concerned, I've heard mixed things about Groupon depending on different restaurateurs I've spoken with, that they've just barely broken even, or that the profit they made was okay. I've heard various mixed reviews on these types of things. So my suggestion is, whether you go with Groupon or other related websites is up to you, of course, but why not have coupons available on your own website? It only takes a few minutes. You're talking one page of your website. Why not do it? By the same token, have QR codes where people can scan it through the website and then go into the restaurant and get coupons. You want to encourage repeat visitation and repeat customers, most definitely. Finally, I'd like to say to embrace non-conventional means of marketing, what I call grassroots marketing. Such as having local bands performing, local authors come and speak, have networking groups there. So many restaurants I've heard of will have like $500 minimum charges for groups, even if they know that it's a dead time for them. If you know no one else is going to be in your restaurant, why not invite networking groups to come in and not have a minimum fee? At least they're bringing in bodies, they're bringing in customers who might not otherwise be there. Again, some money is better than no money. Or you could just lower your minimum so that it's more reasonable, so that more networking groups and investment groups are more likely to come to your establishment. Take advantage of that. Do everything you can to bring in more clients. Print out flyers with your website address on them. Print up menus with QR codes on them. Barter meals for deals. You could do this on Craigslist depending on what it is specifically you're looking for. For example, bands performing, musicians performing. You could have artists coming in doing caricatures or painting there in the restaurant, or you could even have a local karate group or something doing an exhibition in the parking lot, or there's any number of non-conventional means that you could use to publicize your business and cross-market it and be open to those things. Not all of them are going to be great, but some might bring in more people, and it's always worth trying. Okay, and also things I wanted to say was that, again, there's no reason why a restaurant business cannot take reservations online, have online menus and maps. Okay, depending on what you, the restaurant owner, wants, these can be done very affordably and very easily by any WordPress website developer who is good and honest and direct with you. Okay, for example, here's a thing called a Yelp bar that will allow you to put a bar at the top of your WordPress website showing the average Yelp reviews. Okay, here's another one. Everyone's heard of OpenTable. If you're in the restaurant business, you've certainly heard of it. OpenTable allows for website integration with developers. Another one is Mailchimp, which is very commonly used to have newsletter subscription services. Now, Mailchimp charges a small fee, but you can produce beautiful looking newsletters to go to different customers, even vendors. And here's another service called Zuppler, so that people can go to your website and place orders and make reservations online as well. So really, between OpenTable and Zuppler, there's no reason why someone shouldn't be able to place orders online and make reservations. And here's some screenshots of it. And if a developer tells you they have their own special secret way to do it or whatever, just run in the opposite direction and call me up or email me. But there's no reason for this to be some kind of confusing, mystified mess. Okay, so between Zuppler and OpenTable, and there's another one called Fresh Booking or Book Fresh, I forget. These are all things that can be done relatively easy. They're just time consuming. So if you're serious about having a professionally designed website for your restaurant, just know that it can be done, and you know, it's not a big deal. Look for someone who does WordPress. Check their credentials. Ask them, do you have a website that I can look at your portfolio? If they tell you no, ask them why not. Every web developer who's any good at all should have a web design portfolio. They should be able to show you right here on mine. Go to page 2 and you can see restaurant websites here. There's no reason why anyone should not be able to show you samples of restaurants on their website. Okay, so they should have a portfolio. They should have credentials. They should have references that you can check. And you know, it always surprises me in a very sad way when I hear from people who invest hundreds or thousands of dollars in websites for their business or for their restaurant and don't bother to check and see if this person has credentials or references, or if they're capable of writing and putting 2 sentences together. So they should, any web developer should have a before and after portfolio. They should have restaurant websites that they can show you, and testimonials that are real people with real first and last names, phone numbers, and email addresses. And so I really hope that this brief video could help you. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, especially about having a beautiful restaurant website in Denver, Colorado, please look up affordablewebsitesdenver.com. Give us a call 24/7 at 720-468-0472, or email me 24/7 at affordablewebsitesdenver@gmail.com. I love seeing satisfied customers and doing an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. Okay, so I hope to hear from you soon. And again, if there's any questions, let me know. Take care, everybody. Bye.